watched them playing Inferno was all of his plays with the AWP on the CT side. But enough about that. We're into the action. NaVi on the T side. QB5 gets started on their preferred side for once. Let's see if that is going to help them out. If they can continue pistol dominance here as NaVi start to press up onto the middle position.
Moving very quickly are the side in yellow. Black and yellow as the jerseys are, as well as the polos. No frags yet, and NaVi continue to close the distance. Will they try and push Arch and CT? They still have Simple at the bottom of Banana, maybe looking for a rotation, and they're playing the numbers game. Now where do the CTs go? Jumka trying to force his way backwards. Almost, oh, he right-clicks by accident. Has the QQ, and now Jumka, he's got to deliver a kill. He has to, but he won't. It's down to Felina, the last man standing now. Quantum fire, the Quantum Bellator fire, really need this pistol round. Can he get any more kills? Doing really well. Huge K do it into the red, but too many man.
Too many man. Definitely a very cool round from NaVi. They tried to create chaos. They tried to thrive in the chaos, and it almost bit them in the backside, but they closed it out in the end. So the first pistol to NaVi in this series, and they're on the T side, of course, so it'll be quite interesting to see how they like to play this. Again, it's a very experienced team, a team that we can expect discipline from. We have the Mac 10s on Edward and Simple. These players can gather information around the map and ascertain what is going on with the CT setup. Are they stacking A, are they stacking B, or is Felina in your face with a scout?
NaVi clearing the top of Banana, but will they commit to the bomb site? They're not really going for the information, just running straight in, and that's going to cost some damage at the very least. And they're running into a triangle of doom almost, but one part has been smoked off. Electronic being taken down as well, and you start to wonder if this rush was really necessary. Maybe some overconfidence from NaVi. They're getting wrecked from every angle. It's down to Flamey now, the man who put them in a depressive state in the previous map. Can he do it once again? Slowly repositioning. That smoke will be his friend for a few more seconds, but it will soon disappear. Does he see the boost over the top? He does now, and they drop off again. Tagged to 81. 1 versus 3. QB Fire have not picked up any weapons apart from the Mac 10 onto Boomich, and that range is going to suck. Flamey, of course, has got his Kevlar, so that will be something. 1 minute for Flamey to play with. And he may wait for QB to make a mistake. He doesn't want to run the clock down, though. He'll continue to move around and try and get himself a 1 versus 1. Jumka spotting. Flamey instantly looking for a trade frag as someone to pop out to try and get a 2 versus 1. But nobody will take the bait. It's the one flashbang that Flamey has. I don't think it went deep enough. Spots Boomich as well. He knows where 2 of these players are. 30 seconds, picks up another grenade, deploys it. Doesn't go deep enough again. Doesn't get a kill after finally getting the duel. Quick, too fast. And that's QB back in the mix.
Very nice. That's going to give them a lot of confidence, being in that position that NaVi put them in previously. Now they do it back to NaVi. And again, it's just really, really nice if they hold on to these following rounds where NaVi have weak buys. Of course, the force buy comes out now. That means AK on Simple. I can see that at the moment. The Eagles are out. We've got some flashbangs, CZ, Kevlars. There's a lot of danger here for Quantum Bellator Fire, but they do, of course, have the advantages. And so if they close down these rounds, Waterfalls gets onto the AWP quick, then they can start trying to snowball NaVi. But they must first overcome these initial obstacles to get their game going. I'm very, very excited to see what Simple has to offer with that AK-47, though. Jimka must be cautious. Do not want to offer an opening to the likes of NaVi in their current confident state.
That's quite a strong position for a smoke grenade. For those of you at home or in the audience, if you're expecting a rush from a T side, it's a nice place to get a smoke down. They are at a disadvantage, making plays such as that. It's getting cut to pieces. Seen 2 people top Banana, but they need to get this AK working before they start to lose all these pistoling players, but they seem to just be holding position for the time being. And now QB are getting aggressive, almost making a mistake. Perhaps they made one. Simple with 1 frag. Can he get second one? Moving up top mid, and Flamey will trade 3 versus 2 in favor of QB. You still have a man in the pit, a very important position as a 2-man rotation comes in from B.
Edward quite dangerous. He seems to know. Oh no! Oh, that could not happen for Felina. Edward gets a drop in. The clean drop takes very little damage. Picks himself up a UMP, as well as now getting a bomb plant and a winnable 2v2. Edwards up to the shenanigans there with the Deagle, but it's up to Flamey with the AK. Bringing the heat, bringing the power of that rifle. And you can see the facepalm there out of Jimka. They knew they should have taken that round. That is devastating to lose a round such as that. NaVi back in control again.
And guess who it is? It's Flamey with the 3K. Everything is A-OK. And for those of you in GoTV, I think at this point, Flamey seems to be the arch nemesis of the entire Quantum Bellator Fire team, organization, country of origin, everything. So let's see what Flamey can do. There is the man himself, wearing a very weird mask, it must be said, but everyone to their own. And now NaVi will continue with more AKs, and QB Fire have gone for the 4th spy, but what do they have in store for NaVi? Can they get anything done? Honestly, going back to the earlier rounds, I think it was not the best idea for NaVi to run into B, not really identifying anything, not having mollies at the back of the site, etc. They paid for it. Perhaps, though, they will be more disciplined now, respecting the smokes and the like from QB Fire, but NaVi look to investigate the apartments, and there was a big presence here from the CT side.
Could be dangerous, but it has a good bearing as to what's going on here. It's actually in a fairly decent position. This AK, they're not taking favorable challenges against Edward in this spot, but they really want to get a kill. They want to isolate him, they want to steal away the AK. So there is a bit of desperation there to make it work. And Flamey is going to break Valina's neck with that AK, pushing forwards, and the app's clearing it out, making it safe for NaVi. They are just after the kills at the moment. Apartments would typically be the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous positions on the map, but Edward finds himself a very nice gap there as well. They know where the QB Fire players are, and they're happy to put the numbers in to just barrel them down with superior firepower. And so far, it's working. Another bomb site claimed, another frag for Flamey.
Quick and Jumka left to save at this point, and the hunt is on. Electronic does not have much to lose with the Mac-10. He starts to move up the banana position, and Jumka, I'm guessing, is going behind the barrels, and Electronic will rip his face off. Dental records for him. See if Quick can hold on to his French gun. Not a good start for QB Fire. Their CT side is where their fire is, in my opinion. We'll have to see if they have that fire once their buy round comes in.
Yeah, they really need that money. They really need the AWP and Waterfalls. They need Waterfalls to be confident. We'd see him making plays around the apartments with that AWP, moving around the map, keeping things unpredictable. But again, right now, NaVi have shown that they are going from strength to confidence at an all-time high, especially on the man Flamey. He has been absolutely ridiculous. It's hard to describe how well he's playing at the moment. And in the interest of having enough money for potential AWP, we are getting the full save from QB Fire. They're going to stack 4 players towards the A side of the map, as Edward will get his clipboard out and start to gather information as to what's going on towards B. And we already saw a very fast B round from NaVi, so perhaps they would expect a stack towards this B bomb site, but there's only one. And they're actually going to rotate into where the stack actually is. Nice flash. Doesn't do too much, though, for QB Fire.
That leaves Valina alone towards the A bomb site with his pistol. So we don't expect much from the CT side in this round. We look towards the buy of QB Fire to see if they can do anything. Simple gets his bell rung, but that will not shy him away from going for it. I'm sure he'll be annoyed with that, but not the worst thing in the world. Oh. At least it wasn't a teabag. Don't turn the kettle on just yet. Jumka now hiding by the logs. Desperately trying to hold on to a UMP, but he won't even get that. So, let's see now. QB Fire, what will they have to offer NaVi in this round? Is there money for an AWP? There isn't quite yet, it doesn't seem like. And that's a problem for QB Fire, I think. That's a significant part of their repertoire. So they are already on the back foot. I think there's been a tactical timeout call to maybe discuss what to expect of their opponent and try to weather the storm.
And if you missed the first map between these two teams, Flamey broke a world record, taking it away from World Edit, most frags in a single half, and basically just dominated the entire match there. QB Fire could not get going, and now moving into this one, things don't look amazing for QB Fire. They do have one round on the board, of course, and their first buy round is not going to feature an AWP, and that is, of course, it's a sad prospect, but perhaps they can earn their way to an AWP. Simple has one. Here we go.
You can't trust it. Kill it until it's dead.
Simple did look a bit frustrated with himself in the previous round if you were checking his player camera as he was missing those UMP shots, but
that man has standards, Dan.
Let's see, we'll reach them with the AWP.
He's got them standards. Move away. The grenades are coming. NaVi clearing out the banana position as safely as possible, leaving QB Fire nowhere to stand. Jimka facing the wall. Hasn't been told off by Teacher. He's expecting some flashbangs. If they come around the corner... Oh no, he's got a... Is it a smoke trick of some description? Seems like it might be. So he had a lineup. Gimmicks are coming out. When you're down to the gimmicks on the CT side, life isn't going so well for you. Electronic not overextending, however. Just trying to bait out as many grenades as possible. Meanwhile, NaVi coming for the push up top, but Velina with the aggression moving into second mid. And they may expect that he's run back, but Flamey seems to have an idea. Or does he? Who's going to have the superior angle? Velina going deep with his angle. Coming out now, and he's good for it with the UMP. Up close. Meanwhile, the bomb's been dropped on Arch. So there are problems here for NaVi.
Yeah, that was really smart play by Velina. Gets the execution as well, now down to Edward. Good flash in, good frag, but Electronic is gone. Edward in a 1 versus 4 now, after already getting that trade call. Has to ace to win the round for NaVi. QB Fire look really good, but perhaps now it's Velina's turn to get surprised as Edward turns the corner, bullet straight to the face. That's an AWP. Can Edward keep it alive? He's looking to save this now, I would imagine. Only 20 seconds, not enough time to win the round, but he can definitely cause some damage and try to offer this AWP back to Simple in the following round. And we can look at Simple's money. It's very bad. Edward will actually be able to perhaps sneak away. Good jump around the corner from Jimka. Eliminates Edward, grabs the AWP. That will find itself back to the hands of Waterfalls, its rightful owner.
Edward got whiplash at the end of that round. And there's G2. Team Headshots, bonjour.
Bonjour. Ça va?
Watching the proceedings, waiting for their own match. So we'll see some nasty stuff from that team a bit later on. 4-2 is the score. QB Fire, they've got an AWP on Waterfalls. Still some shortcomings with Velina on a UMP, but they've got the big green gun, and that may be quite important for them. Simple, though, has one of his own. So dangerous times are ahead for the likes of QB Fire. It's 2 AWPs. Flamey has one as well on the T side. Very curious stuff. Flamey seems to work magic with anything in his hands. So let's see how it works out. Flamey keeping an eye across the bridge, through the window, see if any CTs are going for a balcony play or moving fast through apps. Very dangerous for the CTs to make that run these days. Minute 17 and QB Fire with 3 people on the B bomb site. At this point, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's really additionally interesting just due to, as you mentioned, the double orbs. It's usually very hard to even make sometimes 1 AWP work on this map on the T side, and to take 2 is just, it slows you down a lot. It's not as dynamic as an AK-47, and it's a lot about just creating rotations and playing against them. Speaking of, Simple will catch Waterfalls, and that's a really big problem because you can definitely infer that he would be playing alone in that position. And they're not going to overreact here, NaVi. They're still just working on overall map control. They've got top banana, they're working on top mid. They'll get that as well. 2 quick kills there. Velina and Jimka lost down to Quick and Boomich to try to save this round. And honestly, the odds, they are not good. Simple take down Boomich with ease. And the round will be won here by NaVi. There's not too much that Quick can really do. He'll perhaps attempt to get some damage in, but that's really the best case scenario. And he gets shut down by the AWP as well. NaVi don't lose a single man.
Double AWP T side, flawless victory. 5-2, and QB Fire are on pistols once again. A reset economy, life kind of sucks. Look at that snap from Simple. Looking pretty sharp at the moment. And you can maybe that's a warning shot for any opponents of the future, because NaVi do look in firm control for the time being, but it's still early days. There's still a way back for QB Fire. Some pistols have been purchased. Quick on the FAMAS. Now, question is, how do QB Fire get themselves an advantage in a round such as this? 3 people playing deep on the B bomb site, maybe hoping for NaVi for an overextension, as we saw on the anti-force fire round.
One of the issues here as well for QB Fire is that they know that NaVi are playing with 2 AWPs, so like how does that actually, how do they consider that NaVi would best want to play around with that setup? Because it is quite limiting, and typically you would see slow plays, and if the AKs go down, like a couple AKs die, making plays like this, then all of a sudden the AWPs are in a pretty weird position without rifle support, but they will try to open things up here, working the picks around the corner, but it's Zeus to get the frag there onto Boomich. He's down by quad, and that will cause a rotation away from B.
it's the minute mark, and I mean, QB Fire had 5 smoke grenades. One person died as one was deployed, so they've got a bit less now, but they are trying to kill that time, and it looks like they're going to try to get NaVi to make a play towards the B bomb site, but now Waterfalls is alone towards A, and the last smoke is with Valina towards B, maybe for a panic push from NaVi, who are slowly moving back towards the A side. So let's have a look. Waterfall's taken down in the balcony position. Another rotation might come in for QB5, but surely it is too late to do anything. And with the players having bought Kevlar and so on, and being completely out of position, it might be time to try and hold on to what they have.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the smartest choice. Just have to bite the bullet at this point, but it looks like they want to play aggressive exits. But NaVi are very happy to go and meet them for the frags here. They're already scouring the map. Electronic might find action. Jimka waits at the bottom of Banana with that deagle of his. But it does seem like NaVi are actually playing this fairly safe at the moment, not really overextending too much. They've cleared a safe path to exit the bomb site safely. And Jimka, 2 connections but no frag. Very sad for him. Now Valina and Quick still alive, and doesn't really look like they'll go down in this position. So they'll be able to carry their Kevlars forwards into the next round. But what a horrible spot they're in at the moment. Their economy completely shredded by NaVi. And in this round, they won't have anything to work with either. They just really need to pure save and see if they can get something with these 2 guns that they have. Perhaps they can get a flash or 2. We saw some great pop flashes on mid. That was pretty nice. That's a favorite of the French teams, actually. They're often very good at that.
La flash is the term.
Le flash.
Always hear Kenya saying La flash. Right then, 6-2, QB Fire. Is there a way into this half for you? That is the question. Probably not in this round, though. Probably lambs to the slaughter. Valina and Quick need to try to do what they can with what little they have, and it will be the double stack. They do have some protection from grenades top mid from that area, but they are somewhat exposed to the boiler position. But perhaps the player on the low ground has an angle towards boiler. Valina up close. A reminder, these P250s now, you've got to hit the dome twice. No more one-shots for those. Got to go for that 5-7 investment if you want that. So Valina will look at boiler, while double peak top mid will be in position. I do enjoy this this stack. Let's see what NaVi can do.
But he just got hit by the fire there. That'll be a sound cue, an audible sound cue as to his position. So NaVi will have heard that and say, okay, there's a guy playing quad. So they know where Valina's standing, but that could be a big bait, and indeed it is. Flameless looking towards the quad position and gets taken down by the nice off angle from the stack, and they'll reposition. Great start here, 50 seconds to go. There's no option to go B for NaVi. They really have to commit to A at this point. And this could start to get a little bit sticky.
NaVi, they offered a fake towards B with 1 smoke in the CT position, but they're still not committing to anything just yet. And now there are 4 QB players alive. That might be a problem, however. It's only 2 on either side. NaVi slowly edging forward. Edward feeding information. Now Boomich becomes the bait because Valina is in this position. But now does Boomich go forward because they've seen Valina as well. 20 seconds left and all the CTs are rotating towards A. Valina needs to stay alive, but he can't do it. Dancing around the smoke. There's the USP, and now it's Quick. 1 versus 3. The bomb's being planted deep. He won't be able to stop it. Maybe the run's come to an end. 16 HP. 1 versus 2. Is he going to go for it? Maybe suicide if he does. And what can they afford to lose? Maybe looking for a weapon, dancing around the corner, finding the AWP, but Electronic will surely cut his wire short. Maybe not. I think he wants to go for it now, but he's wondering, has he seen enough in the def cam? Okay, cut our losses and keep the AWP. We need everything we can get for the rounds to come.
That all could make a big difference. Again, once it enters the hands of Waterfalls, we might start to see some plays made as they start to enter 4-buy territory. And interestingly, I'm not sure if they left themselves enough money if they hadn't saved it all. In fact, no, that they would have been able to buy one that had full nades and everything. So this is definitely a very big deal for them to be able to carry that into the next round. And this is where they really must start turning things around, because otherwise I fear for their chances in this series if they cannot do that. Already being a map down, NaVi already looking so confident across every situation. Okay, so what's Waterfalls going to be up to in this particular spot? He was very, very aggressive throughout the group stages. Looks like he is moving towards quad with that. Always playing the double peek here. So this is a cool setup. here in the apartments. It's usually good for one. Let's see if NaVi can somehow circumvent that setup. There's only one player towards that position. It's Flamey at the moment. His job with Edward is to clear the apps, and slowly but surely they'll work on that as the rest of the team goes towards the top banana position. Smoke off there. When it's going to work out. Boomish with 2, AWP not required apparently. So now they've cut off that head of this push. NaVi are somewhat committed in towards B.
Yeah, and that smoke grenade was perfectly timed by Jumka, so NaVi couldn't really take any real estate in the meantime. And they don't have any flashbangs left. They've just got to go for raw peaks, but they've got the players to do it with. Simple's alive, Electronic as well. Zeus making his way forward, but the boost is there. Zeus trying to crouch underneath it just in case, so he's aware it could be an issue and he's still looking for it. And now Jumka gets a frag regardless. Quick trades and that leaves Simple alone. Picks up the AK, he knows he can't go AWP 1 versus 4. Got to go for the forward smoke to retrieve the bomb, which is in the existing smoke. Dodging the spray, and there's Boomage taken down. He was in the red already. 1 versus 3 now for Simple. 29 seconds. Dancing through bullets. Quick moving through construction. Looking for a player in Banana, but what's he going to do here? He's running out of time. I think he's spending too much time in this position. So I'm wondering, he doesn't have money. I mean, they've got enough money. He doesn't need to save. He's got to try and kill people, but that's 20 seconds gone now. And there is the kill. Some hesitation, perhaps, and a 3rd round for QB Fire.
I respect that from Simple. I think either there was a call from a teammate or he just really heavily suspected someone played Banana, and he really committed to that. And that's how you win clutches. It doesn't always look magical and amazing because sometimes you guess wrong, you deduce wrongly. But that was what he committed to do, and he really tried to fake out a player there in Banana. If there was someone there, James, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten the kill. But in this instance, there was not, and it's much needed around there for QB Fire. And this is what I want to see here. Waterfalls going with that AWP, potentially for fast peaks here. Ooh, and this is a smoke that's good for second mid pressure. It's pretty quick there, able to win the 1v1 against Simple, but the trade is there from Electronic as he pushes further forward. They know there's only one man on the site. Perhaps Jumka can't get into position in time, and there's an opening here, and Electronic is going to take it for NaVi.
Might need a molly towards the construction position if they can do it. There's a gap in a smoke. Jumka in around construction, taking Electronic down. Brave shot from Jumka, but he's gone out too wide. Gets away with murder, however. 2 CTs there. Do they perhaps boost over the smoke? Try and catch somebody rotating to new box? 2 NaVi players here, soon to be joined by Flamey as well. No boost from the CT side. Flashes through the smoke, but no kills in either direction. Zeus trying to look over it. Oh, that's a nice angle from Zeus. Spotting Boomage, but still no kills. Bomb getting planted. 4 versus 3 retake. But QB Fire so late on the rotation, but Valina's still on the A sites.
And the health is an issue as well for some of these players, well, especially Jumka. Waterfall's burning as well, and with 2 AWPs trying to retake this, it's going to be very, very difficult. They're going to have to make some crazy plays. The moment doesn't look like they're going to have too much time to do this. Edward able to take down Valina. Another frag off it up as Boomish peeks straight into him. And all of a sudden, it looks horrendous. The 2 AWPs remaining. Flamey will happily relieve them of those AWPs. My goodness. QB Fire late on the rotation, got absolutely ruined on their retake attempt, and now NaVi once again in a fantastic position to take full control of this game.
Yeah, it seemed QB Fire didn't fully rotate until they absolutely saw the bomb, and then Flamey and Edward just wiping them out. They left ketchup everywhere, Dan, and did not even pay for their meal. 8-3, and QB Fire have another bye, which absolutely sucks. So this is another strong round potentially for NaVi. Edward, realizing the economical situation for his opponent, will be on a MAC-10 once again, trying to identify any shenanigans. NaVi will offer some grenades towards Banana, try and bait out any grenades from QB Fire, try and weaken the defense as much as they can. There's a big flashbang though from the CT side, but here comes the spray. The garden hose, only good for 2 from Electronic. Simple, does he re-aggress?
Very scary there. Simple's shaking around. Perhaps not happy with those misses, but they still have a very strong position. 3 versus 3. Oh, Edward over the smoke finds the header quick, and that's an open B bomb site, and they know it. Going to start sprinting into position as QB Fire will try to do the same, but the smoke for CT is there, and the weaponry, the numbers simply is not. Waterfalls tries to make the play for the smoke with a flash. Only gets 1 though for his troubles. Valina now can absolutely make something happen here, but it's going to be very difficult. Surely Edward will suspect this. And now both players turning their attention towards the smoke. Velina tries to find a timing, uses the timing of the Molotov being thrown there by Simple, but it's not going to work out. Another round to NaVi. Did look messy though.
9-3. QB Fire starting to run out of rounds to win on this first half of Inferno. Mirage is just a memory now. And it wasn't much of one for QB Fire. On the back foot, one map down already. NaVi 83% favored in the pick 'em predictions. QB Fire on the pistols once more. Round number 13, so they may not go into the second half of much. Now it's Zeus's turn to be the Mac 10 boy, to run around, spray people in the face. The trusty smoke into CT. We have seen some gaps in that smoke, in fairness, so definitely one for the analyst to look at and fix for the team. First, the stronger team, you'll be punished harder for such insolence.
There it is, starting the action of Flamey with first blood. Edward to follow, spraying him down with the AK. Oh, there's a shot missed from Flamey. Not sure who said that so far this game. And Jimka and Boomich last men standing. No guns for them though. Jimper surely not long for this world. Sitting there by the new box, wonderful position, easily taken down by Electronic. And now it's just Boomich. He'll be outed as well by Simple. 10 rounds for NaVi, 3 for Quantum Bellator Fire as they struggle to really get anything going. Of course, that was an eco round for them, a full eco, and now we're back in business. A prospect for 5 rounds, perhaps, to finish the half with. That's the only score that QB Fire can be playing for at this point. They've got Waterfalls back on the AWP, but once again, they're lacking the Incendiaries, James. They're always lacking something in these buy rounds. Their economy's been shredded the entire time. Yeah,
Waterfalls is naked in this round. He has no Kevlar whatsoever, which will compromise some of the early positions he may want to take, especially towards Banana, because he will be exposed to a multitude of grenades. But here he is, top mid, going for a cheeky frag towards the bench position. Gets away with it. These are the early frags that Quantum Bellator Fire need, but there are only 2 rounds for them to win in this half. 10-5 is, or 5-10 rather, is the best they can ask for. Ooh, that smoke. I don't think it collided with Electronic, but Jimka's good for the frag regardless.
Yeah, I thought it was going to collide as well, and of course it would make a sound cue, give up the game, but somehow still it's all okay. And Quantum Bellator Fire hold on to the advantage and in fact increase it. Zeus making his way forward with the team now having to take top mid. They've got to do something. Waterfalls though, turning his attention, connects that one towards Boiler. That's Edward blasted away. Now Waterfalls looking to do more here, already with the 2 very impactful frags as Zeus, the in-game leader, looks to try to find his way to success in this round. 2 versus 5. It's not an easy ask, but he's the one to try to find the answer. But it's Boomish with that answer, and that's the bomb as well. So all Flamey can do from this point is inflict maximum damage with that AWP. What will they offer him though? There's one. Still 4 more to go though.
33 seconds, so yes, it is all about damage. Jimka, the only man on the B bomb site. And he will take the AWP for his troubles. A much needed 4th round on the board for QB Fire. 1 more to get in this first half. Really aggressive pick there from Waterfalls. Not overextending too much, taking Simple by surprise. And there's a fast shot onto Edward as well. We've seen heroics from Waterfalls on the T side of Inferno. Not long to go until we'll see if he can do it again, but they definitely need this round number 5 here on Inferno.
I like the double up there, Jimka picking it up. That's fantastic to see. Waterfalls, he loves to be aggressive, takes a very deep and risky peek there through middle, gets the information. Either it's Banana or it's second mid. That is what that peek tells him at this early point of the round. You can see the rotation reflects this. On reaction of that information, they take the setup into apartments. A 2-man setup, 1 man on quad. They know they don't have to really touch Arch. There is a risk, but let's see if they can get the frags. Waterfalls, he's baited. Boomich goes down. This is very, very bad. It has to hit the shots. There's one from Waterfalls. The pressure's too great. They wrap through quad with great success. NaVi in the 3v2 on A.
QB maybe outstayed their welcome there in that aggressive position. Perhaps architects of their own downfall in this round. Quick and Jimka. Approaching the position, NaVi lie in wait. A very dangerous NaVi. Zeus in the boiler position. He's got sound cues from Quick. He can simply wait until Quick has gone too far and then pop out just like that. And that leaves Jumka alone. He needs a heroic round here. He's got a defuse kit. There's Simple taken down. Going for a quick shoulder peek while the AWP warms up. Crosshair in the right place, but the box is maybe too deep, and Zeus is just wasting time, runs out, and it's just too much to ask. 11-4 half for NaVi.
It's going to be a tough road back for Quantum Bellator Fire, that's for sure, and it just seems like NaVi are on another level individually at the very least here, and they always have that to confidently fall back on. And we knew that QBF, they needed to have a strong CT side. We know that's where their strength lies. And honestly, that last round, I felt like they played it really well. Waterfalls took the risk to get the information, and then they knew because of the presence on Banana, they put the pieces together really quickly, that it was Fast Apartment's presence. They had a really good setup there, but NaVi were just ready for it, and QBF just didn't hit the shots they needed to, pretty much going down straight away. NaVi now in a great position, moving into the CT side. However, if QB5 can get that pistol rolling in, and if they can start to keep NaVi's economy under check, there is definitely a chance for them to get the ball rolling.
I do wonder, however, if NaVi will continue their ruthless aggression once it's time for the buy rounds.
One question too is how much respect NaVi will have for QBF when they're playing against them in these positions. For example, the CT side of Inferno, if you're going to play it correctly, you really need to have full utility. You need those incendiaries, and they're very expensive on the CT side, $600 a piece, as opposed to $400 for the Molotovs on the T side. And that's how you can take Banana control. And so if they're in a position where they lose the pistol, their economy's a bit fragile, and maybe they start making some weird monetary decisions, which in their buy rounds leads them to not having incendiaries. These are things that QB5 can use to their advantage if NaVi mismanaged their money. And that's a question of lack of respect potentially as well, because NaVi may feel, hey, we just have the skill, we can just run in there, we don't need to have the grenades exactly.
We are about to get into the pistol. Velina will be the grenade man for QB5. Everybody else on Kevlar. Simple's gone for the dual elites. On the CT side, where the USP is often enough, he's having none of this. Simple's up for some cowboy nonsense. Dusk till dawn, perhaps. Edward with an instant flank. Oh boy, this gonna be bad. They know they can't push. They're trying to fight back down Banana, but there's nowhere to go. They are already surrounded and the cops are coming.
Simple's like, please, just go through the smoke. It won't be that bad, I promise. But it is certainly bad on the other end of things here. Just completely sandwiched. What a brilliant movement. And at least there is one kill for Simple's dual Berettas. That's very cool to see.
Nice.
12-2 for NaVi in a fantastic position now to start snowballing things out of control. But we've seen it many times this game already, this series, where the team that wins the pistol actually loses against the force buy in the following round. So let's see if the trend is broken as NaVi pick up the SMGs and Quantum Bellator Fire on those CZs. They're very dangerous, and sometimes they're basically rifles, CZs.
All right then, QB Fire. Time is running out. The hourglass is starting to have all the sand fall to the bottom. Jimka taken down and barbecued after the fact. Flamey taken down elsewhere, getting aggressive down the middle of mid. NaVi showing no respect for their opponent at the moment. Electronic and Zeus still over towards the A-bomb site, but NaVi can't get too carried away in this position, because if they underestimate their opponent, QB5 could still surprise them in this T half. The bomb has been hidden this entire time towards the bottom of second mid. Simple holding an angle in CT. He may take Boomich out, but now they know where he is. And what do QB5 do in response? The bomb has a journey to make towards the A site, and Simple's looking for it. Simple taken out by Waterfalls. So a very aggressive round from NaVi. I'll leave you to decide if it was necessary or not, but they've perhaps gifted a round to QB Fire.
I mean, we could just take note of the way Simple played Banana. He's blocking his teammate when he runs out of bullets to peek deep with the Julies. That just tells you everything right there about this round for NaVi. They are just playing for the frags, and they got punished for it by Quantum Bellator 5. But it's on QBF to actually transfer that into something, convert it into something here, and they'll be up against the force buy of NaVi. And that's actually going to be much better, from an aggressive standpoint. But they have smoke grenades as well, so they could try to play this very slow and really sweat out QBF. See if they try to do that. Deep smoke on Banana as well. And one of the responses here for QB Fire is they actually just want to let all the grenades that the CTs are using from NaVi, just let those go away. Just let those smokes sit, let them go away, retake those positions later. You don't have to rush into anything.
One smoke left on NaVi and one flash for Simple. See a gathering of minds towards the arch position, and I do wonder if this flashbang will soon come into play. Edward left with little choice but to retreat. And interesting, QB Fire, they put a Molotov down in arch, but didn't really hold an angle to see if anybody's actually there. It's almost as if throwing the Molotov was a fake towards the A bomb site, and they just abandoned it afterwards. Smoke towards construction. The Molotov missing from the NaVi push earlier on, perhaps. And there's one kill for either side. Some damage done. How many more CTs to fight with, though? All behind the smoke, so perhaps QB can make a reasonable round out of this now.
Definitely a really strong position for them. NaVi would love to get some extra kills, get some guns perhaps to save into the next round. That would be lovely, especially Quick's AK. He's only got 14 health. It looks like there'll be a smoke on CT here. And QB Fire, they do want to try to find a safe passage. They know that construction is not safe right now. They smoked off CT, so that is, they're slowly starting to drift players towards Banana. They've left only one into the side at the moment, which is Velina with the MP9. And he's going to make his escape now as well. So they found safe passage, but little do they know, Electronic is lurking with that CZ. There goes Flamey, and Velina doing the job that he had to do, staying there, making sure no shenanigans were at hand. And Electronic knows it's his time to strike. Can he get a frag? There's one. He knows there's a second player hiding, and that's all he can get. Very nicely done from Electronic.
NaVi now double the score of their opponent, and roughly $2,000. We look towards Bellator Fire to weather the storm. 2 CZs on the map for the time being. This can still be a dangerous round. And the way NaVi have been playing, I think every round is dangerous for QB Fire, regardless of the situation on their opponent's side. Many of the NaVi players high on the kills. Kind of standard setup here from NaVi with what they have. But the crab walks, Dan. They're crab walking through the apartments.
And they are. It's going to be hard to find much without any Kevlar. They don't really have much sustainability. Zeus is, though, one of the mans with one of the 2 men with Kevlar.
One of the mans, yeah?
One of the mans.
You're on the filthy streets of London, Dan.
Back in London, yeah.
One of the mans.
Well, I mean, this is another thing as well. Like, you don't have to go through apps. There's something you don't have to do, and if you do decide to, you can, of course, use utility to make it easier, but very slow, diligent stuff here from QB Fire has allowed them to clear all the very naughty spots that the CTs may be hiding in to surprise them.
They may have to eliminate the pit position later on. I think Electronic is creeping there. Flaming's been taken down. That takes the crossfire away, but that's the bomb, of course, and a potential gun to be picked up, but Quick is there. Do QB Fire spend some time disposing of this? They still have Jimka standing in the middle of Banana, and it seems they are heading over to join him, but he may have to go ahead to see what's going on, although he doesn't know what's around that corner. So it is scary territory now for QB Fire, and I'm not sure if they managed to dispose of those weapons, and they've missed the CT smoke. You can never miss this smoke. It's cost them another one. They could have saved it for later, but that is nerves right there. That's a smoke you just don't miss.
Yeah, you don't want to be seeing that. Like, it's not going to impact the round, but it's just like you just don't want to see a missed smoke. It's not. It
doesn't bode well for the rounds to come, because to me that says either a nervous player or a sloppy player. Neither of those are good for your team when you're playing against NaVi.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really big deal. Either way, the round shall be claimed, and we're starting to see some rounds, accumulated for QB Fire here. They'll be moving to 7. And of course, that's only a mere 5 away from where NaVi stand at the moment. So definitely chances ahead for them. But of course, Zeus has managed to keep hold of an AK-47. And the next round will be the 3rd loss in a row, which will give NaVi quite enough money to buy. It's $2,400 for the consecutive round loss. And as we can see, that's going to land them all around $4,000. Just a bit of surplus there. With the guns saved and the Kevlar saved, they're going to be in great stead here now to have a very formidable buy round against Quantum Bellator Fire. So looking to see some good fundamentals now from QB Fire on this T side to start working away some of those NaVi bits of map control, in particular Banana. I think that's very crucial.
No sniper rifle for NaVi in this round. They've got a good amount of grenades on their buy round. So now we're into the second half. For those of you in GoTV, Waterfall's definitely an important man, a key man for QB Fire on the T side. And for NaVi, I'm still looking at Simple and Flamey. Big grenades! Oh my god, it's napalm, it's cluster bombs, banana bombs, everything. QB Fire have taken colossal damage. That is a terrible start for them.
I think that spray just dinged one of the players by Pit as well. That is immense damage before even seeing players. That is very, very problematic for QB Fire. Now they're sort of in desperation mode. You've got two players that can't do anything. They can't really entry, they can't really support. But that could be a mistake. Going for the peek there. I'm not sure if there was a flash to assist that peek. You can see there's a bit of frustration there.
Yeah, he looked annoyed with his teammate.
Yeah.
It's like, why have you done this? I can't believe you've done this. So it's not the point where you can give advantages away. You can't be over-aggressive. NaVi need to focus. You need to retain this discipline. Such an important thing to have because it can get you into trouble. And what if QB Fire start to come back? What if they win this round? What if they reset? Well, put NaVi back on the eco position. People are going to get more frustrated, and that could compound itself. But let's see. Wall of smoke at the front of the B bomb site. Now, you can take a risk and try to plant the bomb in the front. Old school Fnatic strat where they used to run into construction, but Jimka walks in alone. Now, he just walked in quietly, and there's nothing behind his push. So QB Fire need to move fast with this fake if they are to actually sell it. But they weren't really in forward positions on the A site, and risks have to be taken. Electronic now jumping into the pit position. Zeus is on the site. The Molotovs are here to buy time. QB Fire get a frag, but this is becoming a really big problem. Waterfall's 15 HP, 12 seconds to plant a bomb. He's not safe. Edward will stop him from doing it. And there is the round for NaVi. It seemed like a half commitment on that fake from QB Fire. And it didn't work out.
Yeah, that was a pretty messy round from both teams, all things considered. Again, as you mentioned, the sort of frustration from Edward there initially, just going for this crazy peek. There's the peek. I think there was actually a flashbang with that, so that's actually fine. But still, a position to work with for QB Fire. They go for the fake, doesn't pan out. That is, as you say, that was one of the most key rounds that QB Fire had to win, because now their money's in a really awful place. They cannot offer up a buy in this round. That's going to give NaVi an easy rounds in this position. That's going to be 14. They'll be 2 away from winning this series
forcing it up.
and into the final semi-finals against FaZe. So it's do or die now for Quantum Bellator Fire. And as you say, they've decided to go all in.
Waterfalls has been dropped in AWP by Boomich, and this is why he is the man to watch in GoTV. He has to make it work. He's the man to deliver the kills, to open things up. But then QB Fire, they've got to have that mid-round, they've got to have that late round to convert on any openings that they get here. Waterfalls charging up the second mid position. 3 will begin in the B bomb site, deploying the grenade. The pre-fires there from Jimka. We've seen him land these kills before, but not against NaVi, not this time.
Yeah, they will be ready for that. That's something he was doing so very often. And they've done their research clearly. They've been watching the demos of QBF here. Now, they're up in middle. They can work from this position. Flamey, though, denies Waterfalls. That's another critical pick. Another play that could have made the difference here for QB Fire. They're running out of players. They're running out of guns. All the good guns are out of the round. Down to the CZs, down to the UMP. But Electronic and Zeus have a great setup here. And there's just surely nothing that can be done from QB Fire's perspective. A clean round from NaVi to make it 14 on the board. 2 away now from a semi-final spot at this major here in Boston.
NaVi sending QB Fire back to the internet cafe, Dan, the way things are going at the moment. Pistols once again, is that BM? I thought it was good. 7-14, Pistols for QB Fire. Not a good situation for them.
Few bits of utility here and there to try to get them some positions, get them into some fragging scenarios as we see Flamey holding top mid. There's lots of players potentially coming his way. He's got the AWP. This is awkward. Misses a shot. Out comes the pistol. He's going to have to fall back behind that smoke. It actually helps him out. I think QBF just saved Flamey's life with their own smoke. And now they can fall back into position. And once again, it's clean. The defensive A is unmovable. NaVi strong here, looking for that match point. Jimka, the last man, the last bastion in this round with the Deagle and 17 health. Does not look good for him. There's no way out, James.
There's no way out. Just has to look at a tired rug on the floor and wait for his own demise, and he will lie on that rug. That rug is not comfortable in the slightest. Match point for NaVi, looking at a solid 2-0 victory here in Boston. QB Fire with 2,400 per person. A UMP, a CZ here, a CZ there, a Deagle, some grenades. They may have to play a spawn-based tactic at this point. Try and catch people off guard on Banana. Try and get ahead of the grenades, perhaps. See what they choose to do. Jimko seems to have the spawn once again. Molotov going towards the barrels, but there are two CTs coming down. Banana, an electronic attack, quite enough. He's got somewhere to be. Only good for the one kill though, but it's useful trade. That's the bomb now in an exposed position. Velina just trying to stay alive, trying to survive. And Jeez will take his teammates out. There is Flamey in apartment. And that is the final frag. NaVi with a monstrous victory here in Boston over QB Fire. Dominant victory from start to finish. Great performance as they move on in the tournament.
Yeah, it really was such a display of skill and composure from NaVi, and into a semi against FaZe. What a matchup that's going to be. I cannot wait for that. But this is not the end of QB Fire as well. I think they have so many things to be proud of in this tournament. I cannot wait to see what else they'll bring back into the next major after securing a legend spot.
Yeah, to get to this point was a fantastic performance by QB Fire in the first place, and I'm sure they'll take a lot of experience away from this into the next major. They are legends after all. Guys, give it up for QB Fire!